Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe classified All-Striker with a crankcase, and I know some people have already gotten this. I'm excited to get this. I think we all really love the All-Striker. You can see here is an O-ring All-Striker along with crankcase complete. And in the back you can see that there's a stinger. So I can compare the sizes of this to the actual stinger, and we'll be able to compare this to the original All-Striker along with crankcase. But anyway, as we can look here, we got some nice artwork right there. It looks like we got some in the background right there. And then we have crankcase right there. On the side, we have 171. We have his file card, and then we have the QR code that doesn't take you to the All-Striker, but takes you straight to hell. And then we have the artwork right here. He's holding his pistol. It looks like he has his classic style helmet. All right. And then on the back, you kind of get the, it's not technically the blueprint, but it gives you a little bit of what actually is all with it, what you're going to get. So as you're going through, if you're kind of confused, you can kind of look at things and see exactly how it's meant to be built. And again, there might be some instructions in here. I haven't looked to see if it tells you how you can break it down and take that top piece off. But anyway, let's get into this because I am super excited because I got another vehicle and you're like, hey, Punk needs more vehicles. I so don't because I'm out of space. But anyway, let's get into this. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like when I drop G.I. Joe classified or vehicles, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classified review. All right, so here we are. As you can see, the All-Striker is not put together. And we'll do this in a second. But first, let's take a look at Crankcase. I got the original one right here, along with his weapon. He doesn't come with that weapon. I really wish he would have. But I think I have a Mark II Toys. I think I have another version of that weapon somewhere. So anyway, quickly, we'll take a look at everything that he does come with. And I always like to start off with the reuse of stuff. And we can start off with this pistol. It has been used before. I believe this one has been used before. Either way, maybe this one is new. I don't know. There's so many different weapons now. But anyway, quickly looking at it, you got a nice grip. You got the trigger guard, your trigger. You got a port for blast effects. It almost looks like it was chewed. I don't know. I know we recently talked about chewing things. No, I guess it's just like inserted like that. It looks like the one that comes with Hawk, but I don't think that it is. Either way, a nice looking pistol that he's gonna need, because let's be honest, this guy is he's driving this vehicle, and again, he had this wonderful rifle before. We get this nice looking knife. All right, it's not too blunt. You got the silver blade. You got the nice grip. It's not pokey, so it's not going to hurt anyone. It has flexibility to it, but again, as long as it stays straight, I'm good with it. I have no problems at all with it. Move these missiles over here because they don't go to anything. Or they do go to something. They don't go to this. All right. So we saw these with, I believe, Monkey Wrench. So these are the bandana that you can use, or the... not technically the bandana, it's the face mask. This one is all in green. All right, it has a little bit of texture to it. You can see that it's worn. Nice tie in the back, which looks good. And then if you want to have this hanging down off of him, you can put this one on here. Again, you can see the texture in it. You can see the little bit of wash on it, so it looks like it's actually a little dirty. The other thing that I've also seen people do is, if you put them together, it actually makes it look like it hangs down a little bit further. I believe that it's Monkey Wrench that you can do that. So if you want to make it so it has this, it's really long, you can do it with the short, or you can do with it by itself. We'll take a look at all that when we get to that point. All right, he's got these binoculars, which I don't know if these are the ones that come with Duke or not. I don't have all the figures next to me, as you might imagine. Anyway, these look like the original Duke binoculars. Maybe they are the ones that come with Duke and Stardust. Or tell me in the comments if they are. But anyway, it has this angle to it. It's got the nice little cross looking here. Nice strap that goes around it, which is pliable enough. You'll be able to kind of hang it off him around any figure that you want. All right. But these do look nice. I don't need a whole bunch of paint apps on it because the paint apps, hopefully everything went into this. So he has his old ball coach visor. So there you go with that. It says off-road. Nice looking on the visor. I think that's some, looks like there's a mark right there on it. So maybe a little bit of paint rub there. But it has this nice stitching, so it actually looks like a nice visor. The off-road there, then you got the gray strap. So it just offsets it just a little bit. It is something different that we've never had before. I can't even think of any G.I. Joes that wear a visor. I mean, are there? Other than Steve Spurrier of the old ball coach and golfers, does anyone else wear a visor? I feel like no one wears visors. All right. We have his goggles, which have a nice clear look to them. The painted silver around here. You can see the straps. All right, it goes all the way around. You can see where they designed it, so it looks like this is where you're supposed to adjust it. And of course, like I said, it's clear. And again, pliable. This part feels actually fairly a little bit harder, like the glasses should be. But this is pliable, and I don't have a problem with that because it's going to wrap around them. If this was glasses, then I'd probably be a little aggravated. Then we get a new mug saying Yo Joe. So this one has a nice handle on it. Nothing on the bottom because you're not going to be looking at the bottom. But again, if I want it tipped over, now it's going to look like there's nothing on the bottom. But you got the nice star right there. It's gray. Not that bad with the paint. And then on the top, you can see exactly what a coffee mug or coffee cup looks like. Other than the handle, which I'm assuming if you're a big coffee drinker, maybe they make these handles so when you get one, you can just kind of wrap it up underneath it. Unless if this is, oh, this is supposed to be an actual, like, a mug that he takes. Now that I'm looking at it, I was thinking that this is like the Tim Hortons, or maybe you don't have Tim Hortons, Dunkin' Donuts. But this is actually supposed to be the top of it. You can see where the little, where the air comes out, so you can actually drink it without it getting stuck. So, all right, 2 different helmets that he's going to have. We'll start off with his motocross style helmet. You got this nice green. They threw on a splash of white right there. And I can only imagine they'll probably use this a few more times. Maybe if we have a polar battle bear coming, I could see them using something like this. Maybe put a some goggles across it right there, or a visor, shall I say. But the detail on it looks pretty good. Got some nice detail right up there. Just kind of wraps completely around. I would assume this is going to fit on other figures' heads also. All right. And then we get his actual helmet that he's going to wear. Looking at this, this is very similar, I believe, to what came with Roadblock, or maybe one of the other figures. I think this is Roadblock's helmet. Also came with the Desert, not the Desert Trooper, but the 50th anniversary figure. So here's a spot that you'd actually connect nods, but they don't give you a spot to do it. Some nice detail right around here where you put the earpieces onto it. All right, just a little bit of detail up here. You're going to have the straps. You can see the buckle right there. And the way you can adjust it there. And then here's where it's going to snap in. You can't really do it, so don't try it. Or try it, I don't know. It's up to you. All right. As for our crankcase, I always liked Crankcase. I know there's some figures I say I don't really care for. I liked Crankcase way more than Clutch. There's no doubt about that. So, looking at this guy, starting off with his hair, looks really good. He has that, like, reddish brown hair, I guess you could say. All right. And all that looks real nice and decent there. All right. You got the nice part wrapping around there. But all that detail just makes it look like it's real hair. Then we look at his eyes, nice and straight. We don't have any more googly eyes, paint messed up, which is great. Mustache going back to G.I. Joe in the 80s. A lot of mustaches. A lot. But give them nice eyebrows. Ears look good. Nose looks good. Small little sideburns right there. As we get to his actual body here, he has this nice little overlay, which is nice and thin, which I really do like. All right. You can see his collar right up here. It's that, when we compare him, you'll see, but it has that like tan right here, a darker green. All right. He has some sort of, I would assume, communication device, because it looks like that's an antenna right there. All right. A little bit of red right up there, where it's kind of going to latch. All right. And the detail, just having a little bit of gold and red on it, I think really does pop. You can look at the back here, and this looks a lot like, Xandar's or Hawks that they gave you. But, so the back looks like that, the detail. And on the front, he has a pouch. Got these nice little zippers right here. Who knows what he's carrying inside of it. Whatever it is, it connects into here. So probably the communication device. All right, on the side here, you can see the buckles that are going to hold it together. Got a couple pouches right up there. On his arm, you have the G.I. Joe logo, the star here, 3 bars going across. Nice rolled up sleeves going all the way down. We see the watch that they've used 100 times, but I don't have a problem with it because a lot of people are going to wear watches. And then you have his more like driving gloves. All right. So looking at this looks more like driving gloves. They got a lot of nice little detail into it here. Right over on this side, we don't have anything up on the collar. And then you do have the, what kind of wrist is, not wrist, but it's like a, I don't think that's supposed to be part of the glove, just another wristband. And then you've got the same driving gloves. All right. As we get down to the buckle here, he has an eagle right there. Nice gold. Wraps all the way around. Got a nice little pouch right up there. Got nice pockets in the back, pouch in the front with a carabiner. All right. Here we're going to have his drop-down holster for his pistol, which I don't think we've seen. Hopefully this plugs in fairly well right there. Again, all the nice little detail that they put into all of this. Nice pants going all the way down, which I guess makes sense, the pants go all the way down. But it has this nice detail into it. We've seen this before on all of them. Little pouches, little pockets. We get right down here to the sheath for the knife. And I love the boots when they're like this. This is kind of, I don't know if these are, I don't believe that these are, I can't think of his name. Shipwrecks pants, but very similar if they're not, where the pants are actually going over the boot, and this is where you're actually going to have your boot cut. It's hidden underneath it. And then the boots look good. You got some nice little, whatever those things are called, shoestrings. As for his articulation, he can only look up that far. I can't criticize the Joe team enough that there's no reason why our figures can't look up a little bit more. He can look down. That's fine. The neck is on its own hinge along with the ball joint right there. He can turn side to side, move this way. All right. He has a nice T-pose. Swivel at the bicep, also swivel at the shoulder. Double pinless elbows. We're really coming close to them being done with most of the old stuff where you don't have any types of pins. I'm perfectly fine with that because they have better molds. Your wrists are going to swivel. Here's an ab crunch. Wow, he's really loose. Like that, man, that scares me. We're going to talk about that in a second. Well, that's not good. Not happy about that. So, he has ab crunch. He goes back about that far. And then he can go up that far. I mean, that looks like, if you have this, let me know if you have the exact same issues on the waist. Now, he can swivel back and forth it just seems like there's a huge gap there. Well, there is a huge gap, but it looks like that gap should have been closer. Like, we shouldn't have that issue. All right, so he can swivel back and forth, move up and down. As a matter of fact, he gets a lot of mobility because of that. And he's not loose, and maybe it's because of how this sets, but to me, it looks like he should fit down a little bit further. So let me know if you have the exact same problem, if it's just my figure. There's his Jean-Claude Van Damme. He does have drop-down hips, but as long as his feet go like this, that's what's really going to matter, and they do. Thigh cut. There's his double knees. That's his boot cut. Ankle rockers. All right. So he seems nice and loose, and I don't mean loose, but in a good way. And then, yes, they do have the butterfly joints. I always forget to mention the butterfly joints because they're pretty useless. All right. As for arming him up quickly, we're going to take our knife, throw our knife right down here. I don't think I'm ever going to take that out. Pistol right there. That thing should fold over and plug right in. Hopefully it stays on there pretty nicely. We got some goggles. And how easy do they go on? They go on nice and snug. And you can see his eyes through there for the most part. All right. And then if we want to put the helmet on, we can throw the helmet on him like that. I think that looks pretty good. You may have to mess with it a little bit, move it around. This helmet, wow. Does this go on the female? I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if that works with the goggles. There we go. So you have to push it in the back because the goggles are going to go all the way around. So you can get that on with the goggles. Again, you do what you want with it. Hopefully nothing breaks on this. And then the goggles are stuck in there. All right. Those binoculars on here, I do think those look pretty good. As for this, you pop that off, throw that on just like that. And then if you want to do the mask, you're going to go up underneath like this. All right. So you have to take the head off there. And then you pop it on. And if you adjust it enough, you can make it look like this is all supposed to be one piece. All right. And again, maybe from the front and back, maybe not. Actually, it's tied up underneath his head. All right. Then we got our visor. We can pop our visor right on there, and you can barely see him. So there you go. A lot of different accessories. Then he has his coffee mug right there. All right. Before we get him to try and stand and pose, let's get this head off. And let's compare him to our O-ring. And I can tell you right away, this helmet is not like this helmet. And that's disappointing because I always liked this. It was very iconic. All right. As for our figures, comparing these two, they nailed the hair. All right. Yes, way more detail. Not as red, obviously, but when you look at it, that's how it's supposed to look. He has the same mustache. When we get to the upper body here, they did a little bit of mixing and matching. I'm sure someone's going to yell and scream that this is in green where it should be. But when you're looking at it here, you got the tan collar, just like he does there. You got the green. They went with tan sleeves, so maybe this is more like a vest. All right. The detail on the bottom. All right, first off, he has the eagle on his belt buckle. And then he has the same type of elastic mesh around it. I don't know if it's mesh. They did give him a pouch right down the middle right there, which he didn't have. And as we get over here, we can see the two little red marks, which go right there. I don't see anything over here. So he didn't have any type of logo, which I don't believe. He had some sort of watch or some sort of band, which they gave him there. Nothing over there. There is your holster for the pistol. Boots are very similar. They just had these go over, the pants go over the boots more. Those ones didn't. And then over on this side, they decided to give him a knife. As for getting this guy to stand, I don't think it's going to be a problem. So he stands like this without a problem. Even with that really wonky waist, I get him to stand on one foot really easily. Ooh. Try to knock everything over. Gonna stand easily. Get him on one knee. He's reaching for his pistol. So I don't think it's gonna be too difficult, but let's be honest. We want to see if we can get him in here. So let's move on and get to this thing, because I know you guys are all like, all right, I've seen your figure. Let's do this. All right, on to the A.W.E striker. Hey, look, Budo showed up while I was in the middle of doing this. All right, so here's everything that comes with the A.W.E striker. The O-ring A.W.E striker is right there. It does come with some stickers if you want to put stickers on it. So maybe you ordered more than one. I'm not ordering more than one. And then here is our instructions so we can see how it looks. We open it up. It shows you how to put everything on. From what I understand, this is supposed to be modular. So if you want to make changes, you can make changes. You can make it look like the OG, or you can make it look the way a modern one might look. Wheels already came on. So unlike the Stinger that's sitting right here, they already fit on it. Or they were already on it. So, all right. So quickly, everything that comes with it. We get a machine gun that's mounted right here, which, looking at this mount, I guess they're going to continue to do this. Hopefully, they continue to use the same peg size, so it works with multiple different attachments, vehicles, little playscapes, and different things like that. So we got the butterfly trigger right there. This does not come off. There's no... Well, I guess, yes, this is where the bullets are going to go through, because we have ammunition cans right there. It does go up, or shall I say it only goes down, but once we get it on, we'll see. I guess it elevates a little bit, and then it shoots down. All right, nice detail on it. This is fairly sturdy. This thing does spin, so these are two different parts. Over on this side, we got the star. All right. And I'm not sure what those two holes are for, but we'll find out really shortly. Then we have this Rambo M60, which is already bent. Very, very flexible and pliable. This here is going to go in the front, I believe. It does move up and down. It also can be taken off and fired. All right, so we can see exactly how that's going to snap in there. I'm assuming this thing will just kind of pull out, hopefully. That's what she said. You got your port for blast effects. All right. It looks like a small handle, like a really small handle. Hell, this almost looks like it would fit a 4-inch figure. Trigger guard. You got your stock right there. There's your iron sight. Not the best look. I mean, I don't know what it is about people using M60s and not having enough detail, because they're not the only company that seems to have a problem when they make a secondary machine gun for their vehicles. Here we have the rocket launchers. All right, and as we look at it here, we get some nice detail. It's going to plug right into it. I'm not sure which way goes. I believe this is the back. I guess we'll find out when we try and plug it in, right? Or I could look right over here. Actually, I don't have my glasses up, so I can't see. Anyway, we'll find out. We'll find out in a second. Actually, so I'm wrong. So this is the back of it. This is the front. This is how the missile is going to fire out. But when you look here, you get some nice detail to it. All right, and they just kind of put some little, different plates on it just to give it some detail, some depth, which is nice. Here's the rockets. These are the same rockets that came with Bazooka and a couple of the other figures. All right, so that fits right on it. And these do not come with it. Believe it or not, I didn't have any of these down here. My guess is this will plug in here. And by this point, you should have plenty of these blast effects. This should come with these rather than the Stinger right here that I'm pointing to, or the MMS, because they fit perfectly. This looks right. Luckily, I have 100 like most of you already. All right. We got our antennas. So we have two antennas. They're pointing back just a little bit. Nice and stiff. Maybe this is how the weapon should be made. They're just going to plug directly in, and then you got the little tip right at the top right there. Get rid of this missile. Then we have a toolkit, which is going to open. Where are my tools at? I feel like I should have tools, and I don't have tools. Everything came in this. So I forgot to show you the crankcase and all striker, all weather, and environment striker. 171. This one actually has a hole in it. I feel like I'm missing some. I swear this thing was supposed to come with stuff, but who knows. Anyway, nice toolkit. Opens up. All right. It's going to have a peg, so we can plug that right down into stuff. We get a jerry can. I guess we only get one jerry can. I did not grab the vamp. I have the Stinger right there. It looks like it's the same one. It's got the handle up here. You can pour your gas. You got your X right there and on the back. And then we have two ammo canisters for both of the guns. And I gotta say, peg right here, peg right there. These are already connected. It looks like they learned their lesson from the vamp, which we know this moved around. I have to use sticky tack to hold mine on there. So I'm glad that they've learned their lesson on that. So again, you got your cross right there. Bullets look pretty good. You can see the belt that's actually holding them together. So all in all, that looks nice. We got the seat. You can see the wrinkles in it. Now I like that type of detail. All right, so it does have some cushion to it. And then you got the green sitting on the other side. Looks like a little air vent. It's going to plug right into it. Here's our top. All right, so we got the mesh on the top. So hopefully bullets and other things fragments aren't falling down into it. All right, you got your watch your head. This is going to plug into it. I've heard that a lot of people have issues with it, that it's very janky. We'll find out real soon. Got your lights right there. 3 crossbars. This way, if it rolls over, you don't have to worry about being crushed. But if you want to make it so you figure you can get crushed, there you go. You leave it like that. And then we're going to have the pegs, so you can change things around and how you want to set everything up. And then we got this roll cage. This is for the back, and if you want to have just a generic, regular looking all striker like your O-ring, this you're going to toss in the garbage. This you're going to toss in the garbage, and you do whatever you want with it. All right. Again, looks nice. This is pretty stiff. All right. Just got the nice bars. There's no real detail to it. I know people will probably say, oh my God, the gridiron stuff had wash on it and it looked worn. But again, that stuff is like 40 to 50 bucks each set. This thing's $100 with a figure. So I understand your complaints, but two different types of things. All right, let's take a look at this before we put everything on. Then we'll put it on and see how well everything actually fits together. So starting off at the front, we already have the lights, which look really nice. They do have the 2 clear pieces inside, but then they have the grate so they don't break. Same with all of this. We have a winch, right? Same thing that we had with the Stinger and the Stinger and the Vamp. This just rolls up. Unfortunately, unlike the $325 Mezco, you have to do it yourself. It doesn't take that long. Got your nice push bar. You have your wheels, all right, which when we look at it, it's rugged track tires. Any terrain is what it's saying. It says max inflation 40 psi. So a lot of detail there. They are soft. You got your nice little knobs to them. Got your nice knobs. All right. They do not turn. All right. Maybe they turn a... Oh yeah, I guess they do turn. All right. I lied. But they lock into place. I like that. So this locks into place. So if I want to roll it down the hill, I can roll it down the hill and not have to worry about it going all over. I like that. Nice little detail. Then you have your shocks and struts sitting right there. I guess they're struts. If they're not, then tell me. We get down here. We have your graded, the graded step bar, G.I. Joe across it. We get back to the back wheel. You can see the different sizes. They're not as different as initially people thought they were going to be. These ones are nice and soft. Definitely different tread than what we got with the Stingers and the Vamps. We can see in here there's a peg for a figure, and then there's a peg so we can put the toolbox, and also a peg for the ammo canister. I'm trying to get this in frame as much as possible. As we get to the back here, you get your tail lights that are graded off, so you don't have to worry about them not smashing. You don't have to worry about them getting broken. Yes, you do have the hitch. You get 2 spots, so figures can stand on it, which is good. Something that the original one never had. Here we have your spot to fuel up. You got your exhaust. All right. Now this does... Okay, this does come off. So, it does have to have an engine, doesn't it? We'll get to it. So we can see where the latch is. You can see like the blinkers right there. And then it's going to be pretty much the same all the way over here, other than it's telling you that this is the Mark III 25. And then it's... I'm guessing that's Mark. I don't know. I might just be guessing. But again, really looks decent, and we're going to compare it to the original really soon. All right. Oof, boy. We're just going to do a nice little dive into this, like so. This works out really nice. All right. So, you don't have a full steering wheel. It's more like the Batmobile. It does move back and forth. You got a nice GPS saying Albatross and GPS, so we know who makes it. It looks like it looks like he's going, what? He has to go 10 miles. He's at 65 miles an hour. Nice looking GPS, I gotta say that. You can see all the gauges. Everything's electronic, which I do think is pretty nice, especially for a dune buggy. We get over here, and we have all of these little cluster gauges. Not really sure what all that is. Can I zoom in even more? Oh, that's your FM, so you're listening to your radio. That's all your different radios right there. You do have a... Oh, now I'm too zoomed in. Apologize. So you have your speaker right here. So you can call to the other Joes. Radio, you probably have a frequency to reach out to the other Jeeps around you, the other dune buggies. All right. And this is supposed to notch in. So it plugs in like that. Stays pretty nicely. It's a stick shift. And it does move, as you can see. You have your your parking brake, which moves up and down. I'm not trying to show it from another angle. But all in all, like, this is, I mean, I've complained about other vehicles from other companies that don't have any detail, and I compared them to the Stinger and the Vamp. This one has even more, so I don't want to hear anyone complain and say, oh, there's so much detail. And I'm not just talking about the Vanguard, which people yelled at. I'm also talking about the $325 Rumbler from Mezco, all right? So that detail is really nice. It really makes it pop. And all you have is this nice dark green, and then you have your lighter OD green, right? Then when we look on the inside right here, all right, we have the exact same seats. So the cushions, all the little different, all the different, I'm trying to think of the name, trying to think of the word, so just bear with me. All the creases, all the wrinkles are going to be the same, it looks like, on all of them, right? Which is fine. It's just giving you a little bit of depth if you're taking really nice pictures, all right? So there's your grease, 84 Type G. They're kind of letting you know. And then you got the United States and the big star. All right. As we get to the back here, this is where we're going to pop this off. And hopefully it should just pop off fairly easy. I have not watched anyone else's review. All right. So this comes off so we can work on the engine, which is nice. Now we have a Stinger engine and the Vamp engine. We have this engine. All right. And just looking at it, it is all in black, but it does have some nice detail to it. So I do think that looks pretty good. Does this come off? It doesn't look like it comes out. And if it does, it takes a little bit of force. So I'm not going to force it to come out like the Vamps. You can actually pull that out completely, all right? So we'll slide this back down. It locks into place. You do have shocks on here. Let's move this up again. It does have shocks on the front and the back. The back kind of does, but not so much. And there's really nothing here on the bottom, as we can see. All right. Now if we want to arm this up, we're going to take this bad boy and we're going to lock it here, in the back, and in the front. Now again, this is black, unlike the original, which the original used all green. And again, if that bothers you, I guess go out, get your paint, and start doing some work to it. Now I will say this. I heard people complain about this. Like I said, I have not watched any reviews, but some people have mentioned that they've watched reviews and people complain about this. We're going to see how difficult this is to get in. I know, that's what she said. If you try and push down on the vehicle and not hold the bottom, it's going to be really difficult because the wheels and everything, and you're going to risk kind of bending it. So I wouldn't do that. All right. I'd hold it up by the bottom, by the base, and just kind of push it into place. Now again, if you're not doing reviews, that means you're not trying to reach over a camera and get this all into place. All right. Now again, this is meant to come out if you want to. Then quickly, I mean, just when I'm looking at it here, I don't see why this is a problem for people. And again, I'm doing it on camera, and I can lift it up, and I'm shaking it. I don't have a problem with this at all. And I gotta say, looking at it like this, that looks really nice. I don't have any complaints with this by itself. All right. As for a machine gun, this is gonna pop on right here. The machine gun looks really small. So anyone that wants to fix this, and by fix it I mean just print a whole new one for me, please feel free to. I won't be upset. You have your canister here. All right, so we're going to pop that right in here. We actually snapped right in. Actually, I'm thinking I probably should have had it the other way, maybe. And that thing popped in. That thing popped in. I guess it really... I mean, you can have it any way you want. But I think towards the front would have made a little bit more sense. But that thing snapped in pretty nicely, so. You have to do a little bit of prying. I really don't want to knock everything over. All right, there we go. So let's try and put it on the front here like this. All right. So I put it on the front like that. I think it's just going to give a little bit more moving. Now, in actuality, the bullet should be ejecting out that way. So you can kind of do it however you want. But in actuality, the bullet should be ejecting the other way. The gun shouldn't be this flimsy either. So, anyway. But for all intents and purposes, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Again, I will say it again. I'm not a gun aficionado. So maybe if this gun can go either way, please let me know. I always thought it ejected the opposite way. All right. Machine gun is going to pop up here, which also means if you have I'm assuming if you have Stinger rockets, you should be able to pop those on too. So it does fire up about that high, which isn't very high. You can fire it down low. And I do wish that they had a better system here, because if you move it around too much, this is going to come off, and I believe that's going to start to wear. Like, I don't understand why they didn't make this some sort of like snapping, just like they did with the ammo canister. It's gonna be a long video, guys, so there you go. It does look completely different than this All Striker, but I'm okay with that. I actually like the sleekness of this. All right, so there's that. If we want to pop this on here, you have these two holes right here and the two holes right up there, and you're just going to put those on, and then hopefully, and I don't know if I did or not, this is actually meant to pop off fairly easily. And then we got the seat. You can see the peg right there for the seat. This thing plugs right in like this. And the seat will swivel back and forth a little bit. I can see how this is going to pop off. I don't really see how this roll cage is going to be a problem. But hey, that's just me. Tool case here. Gonna pop on just like so. And can we lift it up? So you can't even open it up with it here. So this is actually meant definitely to pop off. I think you're gonna have to do that a couple times just to get it kind of set. All right. There you go. So that's all set there. As for our ammo canister, guess we're going to take it here. And I guess it sits right here, which is really going to be in the way. Like if I turn this way, it's kind of in the way. But I guess you can only shoot so many ways like that. We'll throw our bullets right through here. And thank you for sticking around. Please take a second, hit that like button if you haven't, even if you don't like it. All right. So for the most part, this thing is meant to shoot straight or just slightly to the side. I feel like this was I feel like there's a few misses here. We're going to have to mess around with. And again, a lot of the reason why I do this is so you can see how difficult it is or how easy it is to do. All right. We get our 2 antennas that are just going to pop right on here. A lot of this here, I will say again, hold it when you're installing it. Don't try and push down on it, because all you're doing is pushing down on the wheels. All right. And once they're on pretty good. Here's our rockets that we're going to throw on like so. And now they have 2 rockets that they can fire straight ahead to do their damage. Rockets are going to go directly into here. All right. And if you want to use the blast effects, I've already shown you how you can use the blast effects. All right. As for the jerry can, I'm still trying to figure out where the hell the jerry can goes. I guess it goes right on the bottom. Guess you could put it here. I don't know if you want it sitting right there, but nope, that's go right there. I mean, it does fit right there. Yeah. Let's see what the instructions say. Yep, so the jerry can goes right there. You can put the bullets on either side, it looks like. They're trying to say that the bullets go this way. I didn't think that they did. Again, I'm not a gun aficionado. If you are, please let me know in the description if I have the gun, have the actual bullet shooting the other way, or if it's just a G.I. Joe thing that they made their modifications. Okay, so as for comparing these two, this is going to be very difficult, and I'm going to do my best. So no stickers on this one. All right. First off, you can tell the cannon is completely different. I can only imagine that someone right now is recreating this cannon to throw up there. I never understood this cannon. It looks something like Transformers, but I think that's also why I really liked it, because it was very Transformer-like and different when it came to military. All right. So on the side here, we have the same type of grates. All right. You can see the grates sitting through here. We have the same style seats. We have the same handle here. All right. Or the same, not handle, the same steering wheel. The wheels are a little different, as we can see. You know, now you kind of get that, like, wait a minute, are these wheels actually smaller than these? I'm starting to ask myself, because it almost looks like they are. So, smaller wheels. I know that was a huge issue. In the front, rather than give this little piece here, they give you a machine gun, which I do like more. You got the push bar, you got your lights in the front, you got your hood that looks very similar. And yes, this did say United States, and it had the circle star that you put up there. I like putting the grate up here. Bullets aren't going to fall down onto it. Also, any type of shrapnel isn't going to land on it. You got your 2 antennas so they can communicate. We get around to the back, and you're going to get your circle right here. This one, unfortunately, never had a spot for anyone to stand, and it didn't have a hitch. And it also didn't have rear lights. I'm glad they did that. You got this little piece right here. This is actually where your gas can was. I guess maybe that's supposed to be your gas can. I said that was. You see they recreated it. The engine no longer sticks up, although it's off to the side. They put that little piece right here. You got your exhaust telling you danger, which I do believe it said danger right there. Tells you the hitches or the latches are right there. So they recreated a lot. Again, even the detail right here for the ventilation, it's the same here. You got your treads right up in there. So as for the dash, well, that dash is going to be completely different. All right. And the engine looks completely different also. They're about the same size, to be 100% honest. I wouldn't be surprised if someone's already modified or in the process of popping this engine out to put this on here, just to do what you can. But all in all, this is a longer, sleeker All-Striker. If you look here, again, I guess I should mention a few other things that I didn't really notice. This has a stick shift too. They gave you the same stick shift. So again, they did a lot of stuff here that you can see this, and if we pop this off, you're going to get this version of it. Lower, sleeker, and longer, which I actually really do like. All right, as for sticking a figure in here, he's already got the gun on it. Biggest thing is, can they sit like this, right? Now, please let me know if you have a problem with this figure, because I feel like that will kind of break off. I don't really know why it would break off, to be 100% honest. If it's stuck down further or not, it really shouldn't make too much of a difference. It's just kind of, like I said, wonky looking. I'm not a fan of using that word either. All right. So here he is. I never understood why Bobby B hated these. Now I fully understand why B's Battleground. Can't stand that. Those things move. All right. So we're getting the figure in here. Is he sitting down? I mean, I got to really adjust his feet. Not as easy as the Vamp and the Stinger. Right here, I got his head actually hitting it. So clearly, I have to make some major adjustments. Now, if you're going, why are you doing this? Well, I want to show you how easy or difficult something's going to be. Now, we could pop this off. I really don't want to pop this off. Steering wheel came off. So the steering wheel came off. Look at that nice detail. Because they even got like controls on it. So maybe if we take the steering wheel off, maybe he'll fit in easier. Same way if you use the Dragonfly. And I'm thinking that knife might be what's obstructing him to get in there. And if so, that is poorly designed, right? He doesn't have a lot of room there. Like, there's not a lot of room to get him in there. I mean, he is the driver. So if anyone should be able to fit in here, it should be our Crankcase. And I can tell you this, Crankcase might be cranky if he has to ride like this. 100% honest, I might be kind of cranky if I have to constantly kind of get him adjusted into here, right? And again, this is one of the problems when it comes to action figures, right? That they're not fully pliable. And I apologize if I go off camera, because I'm trying to look at it over the camera. So I don't know how you're going to get... Okay, I guess there's some space right there. Not a lot of space. And then you can put this back on. I'd say be careful, because that's one thing that's going to get lost. Alright. I don't see how you're going to fit a roadblock in there, or Sergeant Slaughter. I don't know how you're going to get that helmet on him. I mean, he's going to be touching. So, and again, this is the driver. I mean, this is... And this makes me think that he's not supposed to be sitting like that. He should be sitting... Maybe that piece should be down more. Alright, so let's take grab our leather neck. He's got a whole bunch of kibble on him too. And he's going to be a pain to kind of get in here. Oh, actually, I had no problem getting him in there. So explain that to me. How is it that the figure that comes with it doesn't sit right, but this leather neck went in perfectly smooth? No problem whatsoever. So, and if you're wondering what that is my daughter and my ex, her mother, coming home. So there's our leather neck inside of it. And then if we want to sit them up here, go ahead, bend the knees. So I'm very disappointed in the way the figure fits in this, as maybe it's just mine. Maybe I just got a bad figure, and if that's fine, if it is, then I'll reach out to Hasbro and have them take care of this. And I'm going to say they're going to struggle. Again, I do this to show you how much difficulty or non-difficulty you're going to have trying to get stuff in. And as you can see, and again, sorry about hitting the camera there. This is not easy. Like, you gotta take that off. So, yeah, I can tell you this will not be on there. So you're pretty much gonna have to pull him up like this. His knees are bent in the wrong spot. And what I mean by that is, they're bent high. Like his feet are hitting the ground. Like he doesn't sit. Like this is the exact same issue that the gridiron one has. Their feet don't sit properly. Like you have to really make some adjustments. So as you can see, I struggled pretty. And again, I'm behind the camera. I'm trying to keep it in focus, reaching over it. But all in all, like, I like this. This was not done properly. And the way that he sat in there doesn't make me the happiest. Let's pop him out here. I guess that steering wheel's going to come out every single time. There's your steering wheel. So let's see if it has to do with that waist. Alright. So we take our leather neck, who we know is a little bit shorter. Man, leather neck went in super easy. And he's got some clearance. Alright. So let's compare the heights of these two figures. They're roughly the exact same height. So my guess is this piece, that knife, that sheath there, is what is in my way. So now we take this, and he fits much better. So, move the knife and the sheath so it's moved over like that, and you probably won't have a problem. All right, we'll take this helmet. We'll throw this on him here. And this is why I do it the way that I do. So now you can fit him in here. Helmet does have some clearance, so you don't really need to worry too much about it there. Again, watch out for the steering wheel. It's going to come off. You can put the jerry can on either side. It's up to you. Or not have it on here. Up here, I believe we got a spot to peg in a figure. Not that my figures know what they are because they stand on their own. So you can house a figure right there. This thing here is a pain. Let's try this all over again. So that's the way to make the knee lower. All right. And now if we put them like that, so again, can you make it work? Yes. Does it take some work? It sure does. He's almost sitting there. You're going to have to adjust the feet. And again, I do this to kind of show you how it's going to be. This is, again, this is on camera, which makes it that much more difficult. So if you're not doing this on camera, I don't think you're going to have the same issues. But I don't think I can say anything else. I think I spent about an hour with the figure and everything on this. So let's wrap it up. All right, for the size comparison, here's the Stinger. You can see that they're roughly, this might be a little bit wider. Guess there's an easy way to find out. Yeah, it's a little bit wider from wheel to wheel. The wheels are the same in the back, not in the front. It is slightly longer, not that much. And technically this is higher if you are to remove the missile rack. I'm assuming if you have the Vamp guns, it's going to be the exact same height. All in all, the Stinger and the Vamp look beefier, maybe a little bit more rugged. And what I mean by that is, I'm missing something. Oh, maybe not. I don't remember. It's been so long since I reviewed this stuff. This just looks more protected, I guess is what I can say. This is technically a dune buggy. Get in, quick strike, and get out. This is what you're going to take and maybe tow some other stuff. But anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. All right, so there you go. That is your G.I. Joe Classified All-Striker. I guess you can get, he doesn't sit properly. And again, Leatherneck is one of the smaller figures. We all know because people complained about it. There's a lot to like on this. There's also a lot to be desired. Again, when you look at the price of this, $100, $75 if you remove the actual figure, I do think it's a pretty decent offering. They give you a lot. But you're also going to have to work fairly hard to get everything to work the way it's supposed to. I showed you what you need to do with the knife and the sheath right there. You're going to want to adjust it. I don't like the wonky waist. Hopefully that's just my figure and it's not all of them, which means maybe I could get it replaced, taken care of. But either way, I do like it. Oh, I forgot to compare it to, I guess we'll go back really quick and compare it to the Stinger. You're not going to, I didn't even need to say that, but anyway. So there you go. That is your All-Striker. I believe it's still available on Pulse. I don't know for how much longer. Remember what happened to the Vamp. It got bought up and people lost their minds. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. If you're still here, you might be going, have you ever done a G.I. Joe video before? And my answer is going to be, yeah, lots of them. Well, you're in luck because I'm going to tell you where to go in a second. But before you do, please take a second. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classified review. Now, yes, you're wondering if I did something. Well, right up here will be another G.I. Joe and how you can see all the boxes. And down here will be a playlist of all of these figures reviewed. Take care.